you love movies and movie discussions, you've come to the right place. Who am I, you ask? I am the Wiz, and I'm here today to review the 2016 Star Trek film, Star Trek Beyond, starring, well, you know already, and Idris Elba, directed by Justin Lin. A surprise attack in outer space forces the Enterprise to crash land on a mysterious world. The assault came from Krall, who's played by Idris Elba, a lizard-like dictator who derives his energy by sucking the life out of his victims. Krall needs an ancient and valuable artifact that's aboard the badly damaged starship. Left stranded in a rugged wilderness, Kirk, played by Chris Pine, Spock, played by Zachary Quinto, and the rest of the crew must now battle a deadly alien race while trying to find a way off this hostile planet. So, Star Trek Beyond goes a different direction than the other two. This film throws out character development for just straight-up popcorn action, and it has some okay results. But this really results in a very safe film. Instead of having these moments where you get to grow with these characters like Kirk and Spock, or maybe even the other crew members like Chekhov, Scotty, Uhura, or Bones, they really just put them into these boxes that are really just staples of these types of action films. And it's not like it's really bad. It's fine. It's entertaining for what it is. But if you're expecting more character development than you are getting from the other two films, you're going to be very disappointed by this. But I will say, for a popcorn action film, there is some fun action sequences and set pieces in this movie. A lot of the gunfights, a lot of the action sequences are entertaining. They're fun to watch. Then there's enough of them to make the movie move forward. The big problem I have with the set pieces, though, is the planet itself. I, for the life of me, can't remember the name of the planet. And on top of that, the planet itself is very uninteresting. It's basically a bunch of rocks and some mountains that are nondescript. And that is about it. It's actually kind of boring, but because it's so boring, I think they're able to have a little more freedom with those action set pieces. So I guess there's a trade-off there. I also think that the film is a tad drawn out for its length. This is about a 2-hour film, and again, there really isn't much character development. There's a lot of tropes in this movie, like one is about to leave, the other one is about to move up, and they're not telling each other. There's conflict within the group, but it's not really that deep, unfortunately. So if you're expecting those kind of dynamics and those kind of interesting plays off these characters, you're not getting that in this film. It's really just very boilerplate. So if the characters on the Starship Enterprise aren't that interesting, that leaves us with two people that could make it a little more interesting, which is the companion, Jayla, and the villain, Krall. And I have to say, both of these are pretty boring and uninteresting. They're really not that compelling at all in this film. Krall is basically a stereotypical dictator in this film. He orders his men to do this and that, and we gotta destroy the Enterprise. You do find out kind of why at the end, but it's not really that interesting. It's not really that compelling of a watch. And as for Jayla, all she is in this movie is, this person killed my family, I must avenge them. And that's about it. Nothing that interesting, nothing that, again, compelling. I think the thing that's the most disappointing is that none of the characters are compelling, and the characters are just not worth watching. Even with the Starship crew, like, the only reason you're attached to them because you had the previous two movies to attach yourselves to them. And the rest of it are just, honestly, fairly boring. So overall, I will recommend Star Trek Beyond. I think it's an alright movie. I think it's entertaining, but it's definitely a step down from the other two Reboot films. It is very much a popcorn movie. It's definitely a movie that's all about action set pieces. The character development is kind of lacking and kind of bland as well. And where you would hope that they would actually develop more of the side characters, they really do not do that at all in this film. And on top of that, the added characters, the companion and the villain, are also very bland. Overall, I'm going to recommend Star Trek Beyond, but really only if you've watched the other two and you just want another adventure involving this cast. So check it out on Paramount, and it's also on Netflix if you have not seen it. Now, if you want my full review on this movie, you can go to my website at IamTheWiz.com. You'll have my full written review right on the site, along with a link to the video that has this review that you've just listened to. All right, so on Thanksgiving week, I'm going to release a recap of all the Star Trek films and how I felt about the series and about other ancillary things about that, so check that out. On Tuesday, I'll be reviewing The Fall Guy, directed by David Leitch. Thursday, me and Zero are going to be reviewing Civil War, directed by Alex Garland. And on Saturday, I'll be reviewing a movie that came out earlier in the year, and that is Monkey Man, directed by Dev Patel. I actually like Dev Patel as an actor. I didn't really hear much about this movie, though. But honestly, I've heard a little bit. I've heard it's all right. And so I'll be looking forward to checking that out. So on Tuesday, I'll be reviewing The Fall Guy, directed by David Leitch. Thursday, Civil War, directed by Alex Garland. And on Saturday, Monkey Man, directed by Dev Patel. I am The Wiz, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.